off? I don't think so,
There's
right?
no public comment.
Yeah, okay, great. All right. Do you want to do what we could do a round of like icebreakers like usual? Um, I was just thinking, is anyone have any plans for the weekend? Um, I guess I can start. I'm just looking forward to having the day off tomorrow. Thankfully, I get that off with my job, and just gonna see some friends, gonna play some board games, and just relax. So yeah, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I have an icebreaker. If you're a home buyer or whatever, a condo person, make sure you take great care of your fuse box. We have an electrical problem in our apartment where half of the house the apartment has electricity, the other half doesn't. My computer is down, my desktop is down, so I'm doing this on an iPad, which I'm usually not used to doing. So if I mess things up, it's because of my ineptitude of using Teams on an iPad. But it could be worse, could be an iPhone.
I will say on Saturday, Equality Arlington is having a Pride Party at 7 p.m. in Shirlington at Astro Beer Hall. So all are welcome. There's going to be Pride or queer trivia and Pride karaoke the karaoke is going to go from like 9 to 1 a.m. But trivia and other stuff is 7 to 9. But you all should come out. Should be fun. And then Sunday is the Penrose Pride Parade. That'll happen at Butler Homes Park at I think 1 in the afternoon, and then it like randomly goes through different streets. Just a bunch of families with wagons and pride flags, and it's a fun time. Like, people should come out, or if they live around there, wave us on.
I can go next. I'm Alice. I guess we're all introducing ourselves. I don't know. We maybe all know each other. Tomorrow's Juneteenth, so I'm hoping to go to the celebration. Well, first of all, Queen City is having its marker put in tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the corner of South Joyce and Army Navy Drive. If anybody wants, those new historic markers that we're putting in the ground. So I'm going to try to go to that. And then in the afternoon, although it says thunderstorm, so I don't know, the outdoor event at what do they call that new place?
I thought it was Met Park.
Landing. In Met Park, they have an annual event there. So I was hoping to go to that, but the weather looks really bad, so I'm not sure. But on Friday, I'm going to Richmond to the Frida Kahlo exhibit at the Art Museum in Richmond. Looking forward to that. So that's me.
I'll go next. This weekend on Friday, I'm going to see Jordan Jensen at DC Improv with a bunch of friends. And over the weekend, I'll be dog watching 2 very large dogs that are the shape of sausages. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with them all day.
I can go. I'm Nikki. I'm also looking forward to having off tomorrow, but I'm sure I'll wind up working. And I'll be we're leaving for the Outer Banks on Saturday. I'm going to work from there, but it'll be nice to like go to the beach at night, I guess. And I'm looking forward to Congress going on recess, so I don't have to keep looking at reconciliation bill text. For a little bit.
I'm heading out to Cumberland for the weekend. I have a girlfriend. She lives out there, so I want to visit her. I'll meet her son, who doesn't live with her, and then we're going camping too. So nice. Kind of bummed I'm not here. Like to go to Juneteenth. Like to go.
Michael, you cut out. You said you're going to Cumberland, and I couldn't hear you after that.
I'm going to see my girlfriend who lives there, and so.
And her child.
Trying to figure out, and her child.
Camping.
And camping.
Okay.
And this is the first time you're meeting.
First time we
Exciting.
met him over FaceTime. Dude, smart ass.
Hopefully it's not. I think around here, Sunday it's supposed to be like 95.
Oh my god.
Or something. Or like the weather's gonna get really hot.
We might actually be in hell. We might between the weather and everything else.
We will be at higher altitude, Western Maryland. So, but I hope sense.
Oh, like Deep Creek or?
No, further, I think it's further, I don't, Swallow Falls.
No, that's near Deep
Sort
Creek.
of in that, yeah, it's
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
area.
yeah. Nice.
Alex, what about?
I'm actually also going camping this weekend, so in West Virginia, a little different, but I'll be doing that and also have the day off tomorrow, which is nice.
So, yeah.
That's fun. It was all some like fun plans, lots going on. I hope everyone stays cool if you're camping and dry. Great. Well, so today agenda, we don't have any like external presentations or anything, so hopefully this meeting won't take too long. But you know, I am trying to get potentially a presenter for next month on like the site plan process. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them. But I was thinking we could just kind of check in on our progress with listening sessions, tabling, distributing the survey. So far we have 9 responses on the survey. So would love to kind of increase that. And do we want to just kind of go around and each person report back on what you've been working on or what you're planning to work on regarding those items? I guess I can, yeah, I'll pass it to Alice. Do you want to go ahead, Alice?
Oh, me? I'm sorry. I'm having connectivity problems. I can't hear that well.
Sorry.
No, that's why I turned off my camera to see if it would get a little bit better. I don't have much to report. You and I are going to go do a listening session, which I think is next Thursday. And then Michael and I are supposed to do one. And Henry wrote back, Michael, and I'm just remembering that I did not open that email. So let me go see what he said.
He basically said, you guys figure out, we don't need to talk, do we? You could just tell me where you want to go and when you want to go and I'll make it happen. So.
Okay. Well, okay, because we did the same thing with HC, like we tried to pair it up with something that's already happening rather than trying to get people to come out to something unique, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe I'll write him back to that effect and just see what he says. I think it would work better. Well, one thing is we could think about where, right? Like if we know certain buildings have certain higher, population, let's say of like Mongolian population or older folks, or, we could sort of think about that too. If there's a population or subpopulation in this case that we might like to hear from, we could figure out those buildings and then see what events are happening. That might be, I don't know. Do you think, Katie, it's important to do something like subpopulation like that, or anybody at an affordable complex?
I think both are important.
Right.
And leave it to just your discretion of what you're able to do. But
I just
yeah.
bring up those two because I think those two we might hear from some of the least. They just came off the top of my head, but I mean, I think all, lower income people have a struggle participating overall. But if you have mobility issues and you might have language, there are, of course, additional challenges that everybody has. But maybe we'll just ask Henry. I think that's all I have.
Thanks for that. Yeah, and for the one that Alice and I we were planning to do next Tuesday, like a listening session at 5 p.m. at the Shelton, but then the resident manager was like, he doesn't really expect a lot of people to show up at that. If we just have it and we don't have like giveaways or like a lot of food or whatever. So we were like, okay, we're just gonna go with the food distribution during the day. So because people will already be there. Yeah.
Katie, Nikki just brought up a good point, sort of by asking where Doris has been. I don't know. I haven't seen Doris in many months. So I hope she's doing all right. But are we doing any specific outreach to the disability community?
So that's a great question. So I actually got in touch this week with someone from our stomping ground. And she said that she is happy to have, like, they will be happy to have us do listening sessions, especially like at Gilliam Place. if anyone doesn't know who they are, our Stomping Ground is an organization that works with people with disabilities who are living in affordable housing, such as the Gilliam Place, but also they just work with all the residents in certain affordable housing complexes. And she said that people tend to be really engaged and like, probably would participate. So I was looking to see if, we could get some volunteers to kind of set that up.
Great. Let me know if I can help with that.
Yeah, would you like to help with that?
Sure.
Great.
You
Is
know
there
what?
anyone else who wants to?
Oh, could I just make a quick suggestion? Maybe it would be worthwhile to kind of keep each other in the loop somehow about who's doing which one where. Because if someone ends up, like if you guys organize that and I end up available, I could just go help you out, or you know what I mean? Like if we knew what the other people were up to and if they needed extra hands.
I think we just have to be careful that there's not more than 2 of us from the subcommittee in one place at one time.
Unfortunately.
So
I can't believe subcommittee should matter. I mean, I'm not even on the commission. Are you guys sure? Who said so, Alex?
That would be the county attorney.
That's
okay.
crazy.
On that, I mean, are we allowed to have a document, like a spreadsheet or something, those things?
So a shared Google like sheet or something like that is allowed, they said.
Okay,
We just can't do contemporaneous things. So
Okay.
if
Email.
all of us were in the document at the same time making updates, and that's like a meeting.
okay,
And yeah, it's
because I think that's a good idea to have like, and if we get a spreadsheet that has the location where it's going, potential population that we might be reaching.
Yeah.
And the dates, and then who's signed up to go.
Yeah, I do
then-
actually have a spreadsheet that's in the Google folder. Now I don't know if all of you have access because you have to have a Google account, I think, to see it. But it's in the shared Google folder for the Community Engagement Task Force. Does everyone have access to that? Like who has access to that folder?
I do.
Alice, Joe, okay.
When
I don't know.
tried to get it last time, I clicked on the link, it actually said this is no longer available.
Okay. I
So
will resend it out.
Okay.
Great.
and I can give my update now too. So I have to follow up again with Green Valley Civic Association leadership. And apologies for not having done that yet. And then I need to reach out to Halls Hill, to have the initial conversation with them. I did reach out and then send a follow-up to Maureen and David in the county board office about the housing, the future of housing in Arlington event. And I didn't get a response, but I talked to David at an event earlier this month, and he said he was waiting to respond until he had a chance to talk with Maureen about it to get her thoughts. So I'm assuming that means that conversation hasn't happened yet, and that's why I haven't heard back. But I'll keep following up, and Nikki and Katie are copied on it, but I'll let everyone else know if anything happens there.
Thanks, Kellen.
I've been participating with the Green Valley Civic Association. I'm going to meetings, so, and if you'd like, I can take that on. You're trying to just get listening
Sure.
session with the Civic Association?
Yeah, well, and specifically wanted to talk to their leadership, but I think a listening session with the Civic Association would be great. I had sent an email a couple of months ago at this point, and I didn't hear back from the president, but I heard back from Judy Davis, right? That
Judith.
yeah, Judith, yeah.
They said they were involved.
Yeah, they said that they were stepping down and they'd be having to meet separately. So
Yeah.
I can still, have that follow-up conversation. But yeah, if you want to take on meeting with the Green Valley folks, I can forward you the email that I sent.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and do that. And if you want the Green Valley Farmers Market Friday evenings, they seem to be a good place where a good number of people come out.
Well, that's a great idea.
Potentially some tabling there. Look at Friday evenings when I can do that, but happy to do that actually.
And we can I mean, if you're not available, but I am, and I know Nikki is also helping, so we can figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
At
That's
that
great.
one,
Yeah.
just wanted to ask at that one, since it's sort of an open air, anybody there? I'm forgetting exactly what the survey said, but we want to somehow be sure they're Arlington residents, and does it ask for the zip code? Is that right? I'm forgetting now.
Yeah, so yeah, I was also gonna mention like how do we translate what we hear at tabling or talking to people into like the forum. I think it is possible, because I think most of the questions are not required, but we did add 2 required questions at the end that are like, are you a renter or homeowner? And what is your zip code? Because we wanted just to know like who we're hearing from. And so like if we're doing listening sessions at a particular like apartment building, then we know they are renters at that zip code, right? But if it's an open air event, you might want to try to ask them, where do they live, and are they renting or owning their home, if possible.
Yeah, I think it would be like 2 different data sources though. Like the listening session would be like your qualitative data, where we're just taking what we hear from the conversation back to the committee. We may separately say, as a follow-up, here's a survey, you're all invited to take it. But I don't think like as subcommittee members, we should be having like a conversation, a listening session, and then trying to fill out individual survey forms for people that we talk to. Like, I think they're separate. Either someone fills out a survey or we get information from a qualitative like listening session with them. And then we just take both sources of data as we look at making recommendations. That would be my suggestion.
I think that's fine. Yeah, I think we just want to make sure that we record and write down like in a really clear way, like what we heard from people and how many people we heard from, and how many people were, like saying the same thing, so that we just have some sort of data to like work off of, especially like if we're writing a letter to the county board and we want to back it up with some sort of data, we want to just have it written. So if anyone is doing tabling or listening session, if you could make a document with the results and like put it in that Google folder or send it to me and I'll put it in the Google folder, I think that would be really helpful.
I know I still owe you notes from our listening session, so I will do that. But I guess just to make sure, so like, I think you sent them from our listening session, the survey after. We wouldn't want to count them twice though. So if they did the survey, like we can still have the qualitative data because we kind of got into like, I feel like some more things that maybe the survey wouldn't have, but in terms of like, we talked or like we heard from like X number of renters, I think we just want, or X number of homeowners, I think we just want to be careful not to like count people twice.
I guess I was thinking more of like if we meet with leadership in Green Valley, say like, and here's a survey to send out to your civic association members. But you're right, like not like, and also now can you take the survey now that we've met with you for.
Yeah. Did everyone receive the survey flyers? Does everyone have those that I sent out?
Not sure. I have to look.
I have to check.
Okay, I can also send them out again after this. But if you are going to do any tabling or any, outreach, it would be great if you could print them out. And then there's a QR code. There's one in English, there's one in Spanish. The QR code is to the survey. Then you can try to get people to fill it out, if they're willing to.
Oh yeah, this looks nice. It's in like Arlington colors, right? Or like at least similar.
Yeah.
So you found it?
Yeah, it's a PDF. And if we're tabling, like, should we bring like a laptop or iPad for people to do it like right there, or just rely on the QR code?
I mean, I think that's whatever you're comfortable with, since it's your personal belongings.
Okay.
If you want to bring your personal laptop, or if you have an iPad or something, then great. If you don't feel comfortable, then
Okay.
I don't think it should be an expectation that any of us brings expensive equipment out to a like public thing.
Okay.
There's also a written version, which if you want to print out a few of those, and if someone is uncomfortable with technology, they can fill it out on paper. Yeah.
It's the written version.
Yeah, how do we fill it out on paper? I have the flyers, but did you separately send the survey in
Yeah.
document?
Here, let me share my screen. No, never mind. I can't share my screen, can I?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Oh, I can? Never mind. I will share. Okay, so
This in that Google folder?
yeah, this is the Google folder. Can everyone
Oh.
see this?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Google folder, and we have the survey folder. And then here's the written version. And then you can print this out. And this is like more of a survey. I think Karen had a few people fill this one out. I know it's a little bit long, so it depends on your context if people are willing to do this. Then there's the flyers in here. Looks like this. People can also type in this short link if they don't know how to do a QR code. And then there's a Spanish version, and then this is the actual link to the survey. Now, I will say if you want to share this link, you want to share the actual like responder link instead of the link to edit the survey. So you copy responder link here, and then you can just copy this. But I'll show you the responses so far. I mean, there's not that many, but sounds like a lot of people have very similar housing issues with high rent, affording to buy a home.
All of the above.
Right. It sounds like some people know that Arlington does seek input from residents. Everyone who filled out the survey is interested in participating, which is great. But most of them have not participated before.
That's good.
How have you participated? One of them was me testing, but a little bit of participation. And then the biggest reason that people say they're not participating is because they have lack of information. What would make it easier and more appealing? We don't have too many responses here, but more accessibility to information. Majority renters so far, and then, different zip codes, race breakdown, income breakdown.
Katie, is this something that we would want to ask and see if the county can push out as part of like their housing emails?
It'd be so cool.
You mean like the Arlington
Insight.
Housing News and Notes or something?
Yeah.
Arlington and like CPHC has their own like emails that they send out to.
Or like a newsletter.
Yeah. Do we want, I mean, because planning will send out surveys to folks about like developments and stuff. Like, do we want to do that? Obviously, that's gonna, who knows who's gonna take that? But is that something that we want to do?
Yeah, and Kellen, I think that's a great idea. They pushed out the ordinance work group, and the ordinance work group, we had like 35 people. So by happenstance, people use it, the housing news, or then I get this Arlington Insight or whatever. So there is information. So we may want to utilize that. But then again, some of the people we're trying to get to may not really have access to that.
Yeah,
So
that's-
Alan thinks, yeah. So maybe that will skew what we're looking for here.
Yeah, maybe those would be some of the most informed if they got all the way in there and got
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
housing
yeah.
newsletter, right?
Yeah.
It's a great idea. I mean, it just shows the same challenge that the county has, right? How to get this information to people who are not on the mailing list or people who are not, necessarily as internet savvy looking things up. It's an ongoing challenge. So
One thing we could do is have like a copy of the same survey. That way, like, we kind of know, like, okay, like this survey, like, was from like county sponsored outreach, and just kind of see what the results, like how the data like differs. I don't know, just a thought. That way it doesn't like,
Have it as a separate survey.
yeah, yeah, just a separate survey, like exact same survey, but just so like we can kind of see how the data like,
Different catchment area.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
It would be interesting
Yeah.
to see how that differs. Like, oh, like,
I bet there's not going to be much difference.
well, yeah,
But
maybe.
it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea.
I love the idea because I think if it shows no difference, Joe, than what we're already getting, then it shows that it's kind of going counter to what we're assuming.
Yeah,
I think the assumption here is that there are people who are not being heard. And if we find out like, well, no, I don't know anything about this either,
yeah,
then it's like,
Mhm.
oh, so I'm connected, but I'm still not informed.
right, yeah, yeah.
Interesting. I was just gonna say too, it would seem like I'd like to print out the survey and bring it with me to these events, just because you could use it as a guide to asking the questions, or you could show them this is what it looks like if you want to do it online instead, or like, I think it might be helpful for myself, but anybody else, just to bring that hard copy
Yeah.
with the survey flyers, just so they see exactly. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Alex, who do we need to talk to staff wise to like get this included in one of the things that like CPHD sent out?
I think probably Anne to start, and then if it's a good to go, then working with comm staff. So
How about Sarah Tracy?
yes, exactly. It would be comm staff, but more the CPHD comm staff specifically, most likely, which is a little bit of a different group, but happy to make that introduction.
That'd be great. I did actually see an Anne at the tenant summit, and she said she would be willing to share the survey. So that's nice. Yeah. Who wants to be in charge of that, of reaching out to Anne through Alex?
I mean, I can do it if no one else wants to do it.
Well, I need to talk to her about a few other things. I could do it.
Okay, thanks,
What
Alex.
Thanks,
just
Alex.
asking her if can give the okay for us to have a little blurb in the housing news and notes. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and creating a separate survey, you just duplicate exactly what's on Google already, so it's super easy.
The different link.
Wait, say that again. Do we need a separate QR code if we're gonna try to do a different survey, or
Yeah.
how?
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
duplicate
Okay.
the survey, send you the link. I don't know if we need a QR code because we might not need to print a flyer, and if it's just going on around electronically.
I think this should just be a link.
Yeah.
Included.
Yeah.
Keep track.
But I'll write that on my list to send you a new copy.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Coming back to sort of reporting around, and there's a question here because we're looking at, so I'm setting up a few dates. And once I get access to the what's it called?
Google Drive.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had offered some things, and thank you, Katie, for reminding me that I had offered to do those because so Arlington Mill Diaper Bank, I got us a reservation for Wednesday, July 9th, 8 to 11:30. I will be there. I don't know if there's someone else as well to join me or find someone else. This would be ideal as another Spanish speaker. So, and then similarly, the Arlington Mill Capillary Food Bank Distribution, they have dates. It's the fourth Saturday morning, the month, which I'm not available until August 23rd. And I'm happy to go and do that. And that actually could be, if to the extent we're allowed to have more than one person, just because you get there early, you get there like 6:30, 7 in the morning, but people start lining up at 5. And
Wow.
distribution doesn't start until 8. And so there's plenty of time to go have conversations with people down the line. It's fabulous.
I think
sort of
in
out-
that case, we can have more than 2 members of the subcommittee. We just can't talk to each other.
Okay,
So if we're all
Just
talking-
wave,
yeah.
then
just wave.
we just can't like huddle and like start talking about subcommittee business.
Is that another like ideally Spanish speaking?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
the third? Did you say it's third Saturdays?
August 23rd.
But does it typically happen on the third Saturday, Michael?
Sorry,
or
fourth
Fourth
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, thanks.
Michael, if there's multiple people coming, could some of them, or could at least one of them be a non-Spanish speaker, just to, just
Yes,
to help?
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
and I think so. Ideally for that, we can talk more as we get closer to it. Ideally, we'd have a table where there's someone at the table. And then so that people are, as they're coming through, they can go there. But then these 2 people work in the line, just kind of hopscotching down the line, talking to people. And this brings me to a question to Alex about, can you, as staff, how do you translation in Spanish, the written in Spanish? That I mean, I can do it.
To get it
Yeah, to get it translated
written.
to Spanish.
So we contract that service out as well, so I would have to do some internal checking first,
Mhm.
but I think that would be an issue.
Okay.
But let me follow up.
I thought when I reached out previously, the staff, I don't know who it was, but said that there was no budget for translation for our committee or for
There
any of
was
the committees.
That was for interpretation.
Yeah,
Okay.
But I don't know.
Live interpretation.
I think my understanding there was it was more like live translation as opposed to something written feels doable.
Wait, did I say that? Should I not?
So interpretation is the spoken
Right,
live
that's right.
translation.
Okay, yeah.
So right now the survey flyer is in Spanish, but it links to the English survey.
No, the online is in Spanish, but the written one is not. Oh,
Oh yeah, that's right. It was on my list. I can translate it. I rely heavily on ChatGPT, but I check it. I'll translate the Spanish,
Yeah.
the one into Spanish, the written one.
Okay.
And add it to the
Right.
Google Drive.
Katie, that's what I was gonna suggest. I use it all the time. It's great.
Yeah, it's
ChatGPT
really
will
helpful.
do it.
I was gonna ask, are there protocols around that? I mean, because, yeah, I do this, I mean, I'm fluent in Spanish. I always start with Google, but I mean, is there a protocol about,
For commissions,
okay.
I
When I
mean,
work with the
I
county,
use
was
it for
like,
my job too.
the county staff, I'm sure have lots of conditions that they have to follow, but we don't.
okay,
So I can go and use the Google Translate app too. Like I can speak a
Oh,
little bit of
no,
Spanish.
that's
but I
great.
can,
Yeah.
like, supplement that.
yeah. Brilliant, yes.
Also, if you have the Apple phone, the new 16, the artificial intelligence, it does all of that.
Wow. Crazy.
Chinese, Korean, Russian, Iranian, Farsi, it's amazing.
Wow.
But the Microsoft Translate's pretty good. I
Yeah.
know, I know we use that in presentations.
And Google, like I use it in Japan, you just like take a photo and it translates it. I use it. Yeah. It's simple.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
Michael, you said the Arlington Diaper Bank was going to be July 9th. Is that right?
Correct.
What day of the week is it?
Wednesday,
Okay. From 8 to 11:30 a.m.
yes.
So do we have someone else who can do that?
I can't do anything during work hours right now. All of these will go in the spreadsheet though, right? So we can kind of just like sign up.
Yeah.
We have a meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a spreadsheet that it is in the Google folder. So I can add to those.
I can
If
definitely,
any of you, sorry, if any of you, like I think Michael is one, do not have a Gmail, or your primary email is not a Gmail, then if you could send me, if you do have a Gmail account, if you could send it to me so I can share the folder with you.
think you have.
It just requested access.
Next Sunday?
Okay. Oh, okay, great.
I don't know if it's gonna show
Next
up in
Sunday.
my Gmail.
Okay, I accepted. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Did you
So yes, activities log.
Oh, I see.
Can you resend the Google Drive link?
Yeah.
It's in that email.
Which one? Sorry.
Email that, the one that had the survey flyers? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
go down a little bit further.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You're faster than that than I was.
Should have like a separate. Okay, I think I have access. Okay.
Nice. So the activities log, I'm just gonna, I'll just share a screen so you all can see. We've got July 9th, diaper bank.
That's Arlington Mill, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, maybe we should have some columns like the location, the time, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just thought of one. What about Arlington County Fair? That's a big event.
When is that?
That is a big time commitment, Alice.
I'm not saying the whole time. Are you kidding? I'm just saying like we could
The
be
end
there
of August, I
sometimes.
think.
Yeah,
It's
it's
in-
in August.
Mid-August. I'll look it up.
Okay,
We can-
nice. Then we've got August 23rd was Michael, the Capital Area Food Bank. Where is that?
Say again, August 23,
Also
Yep.
Arlington Mill, right?
yes.
It's capital areas that do like DC residents come too.
It tends to be, it's not all Arlington, so it's a good point. But no, it doesn't, it's not DC folks, it's,
Why Capital Area Food Bank and not APAC?
just because that one, it was just, it's like, it's me throwing out ideas, but yeah, we could do APAC too.
I don't know how, if it's similar, they have a long line or something, I would assume.
AFAC run the Traveler Food Banks once a month, and so it draws a bigger crowd.
Okay.
AFAC has distributions, you can only go, if it's once a month, once every 2 weeks, but so you get smaller crowds at each distribution. So in terms of bang for your buck, that's the only reason.
I see.
But I think you're, either or both and, they're both good places because they're hitting the people we want. So.
And we can just ask if they're Arlington, right? Like that's how
Yep.
have to do at the farmer's market also. Katie, I just looked it up. The fair is August 13 through 17. It's just an idea. I don't know if we would do it or not, but you know, it's a lot of hours, a lot of days if people, if we decide to do like a.
Also, I don't know that we can get a table.
I don't think we had,
Half the county, if we could share one of their tables.
Yeah,
that's an idea.
it's an Alex question.
We can ask.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex.
The CPHD, they don't normally have, or do they have their table?
There's a whole county section. I
Yeah.
don't know which
Yes.
department show
I
up.
know DHS always has
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I don't,
I'm sure that we have the housing
Yeah.
intervention team has something there. I'm not sure if it's like all 5 days. But I can also look at
Something.
Okay. Great. Okay, so the diaper bank one, I might be able to do just for like the beginning, for
Okay.
like until like 10 or something. On the Wednesday, the July 9th. So I guess I'll put my name down with you, Michael.
Okay.
also, who runs the county fair now within the county? Is
It's,
it Parks and Rec or,
The nonprofit.
no, the county took it over for this year.
They took it back?
Yeah,
Oh. I don't know
Um,
about that.
so this is the first year the county's running it since I've lived in Arlington, but
Wow.
I don't know who in the county is running it
I'm
now.
gonna guess it's Parks and Rec, but I don't, I'm making
Oh,
stuff up.
my
to be 100% clear.
Gosh, what a huge endeavor. I'm kind of surprised.
I think it was getting to be too much for the volunteers, and so they asked the county to take it over.
Wow, interesting.
Huge. It's, yeah.
Yeah, I had friends who were on the fair board. It was all consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the lead was, you know, like,
Yeah.
Okay, so back to I think True Ground. I'm not True Ground, sorry. Our Stomping Ground. Kellen, I know you offered to reach out. I can connect you. So basically I'm connected to Donna Budway, and she said she can connect whoever is going to do it with the resident services person. And then is someone else willing to do like listening with Kellen at our stomping ground, which would probably be at Gilliam Place? It's on
Yeah.
Columbia Pike.
I mean, I'm open to it, but I've got two pretty close together, or we don't have that other one set up. So I'd like to, I don't
Yeah,
know. It depends on when it is, I guess.
yeah, same. Yeah. If it's not a weekend, or sorry, if it's not a weekday, maybe I can do.
Yeah, I mean, if you and Kellen are setting it up, then you can kind of choose a time that works for you.
Yeah, I think
Okay, great.
maybe you could ask Kellen. I don't know, but I think our stomping ground either already is or is going into the Cadence, the Wesley property on Arlington Boulevard. I just mention it because that's a provider we haven't talked about yet. So it seems like we're going to go to HC, we're going to go to True Ground. So if they happen to be set up at the Cadence, that might be an option as well.
Okay.
Nice.
So Katie, you're gonna send a email introduction.
Yes, I can connect Nikki and Kellen. I can connect you two to Donna, who will then connect you to the resident services for our stomping ground. I will write that down. Okay, in the same spreadsheet, the activities log, I'm also adding like a tab where it's like contacts that we're reaching out to and who's reaching out. So I'm gonna add Kellen and Nikki, that one. And then we had someone's reaching out to, who was the other? Oh, to Anne. Alice is reaching out to Anne Venezia. Thank you. What else is happening? Okay. Okay, so then I know Joe and John, you guys did a meeting with the Civic Federation. Do you want to just report back on how that went?
Sure. Yeah, thanks to Alice, who wasn't there if we broke the 3-person rule. Set up a meeting with the Housing Subcommittee, Ann Bodine, co-chair, and Matthew Hall. We spent like a half hour with them. They gave us 2 great suggestions. One was the DHS department. There is someone there that deals with CAP. And as Alice re-explained to me last night, the CAP portion with services, meaning there's a person there that's dealing with the services and the CAP. And I was told it was a young man, and I'm trying to get the person's name, because talking to him, he's the one that's actually talking to these residents with a CAP and with an abundance of other services. So that person, I think, would be a good one to talk to, and I will, do as much research as we can to at least find that person and talk to them and get feedback using the form, et cetera. And the other one, the other one they suggested was that we should be contacting NAACP.
What was the second one?
NAACP.
Oh, NAACP. Yeah.
Yeah, JD's old group.
Yeah, I think Katie, didn't we talk about that? Like you and I.
Yeah, what was the conclusion of that?
So there is no housing committee right now for the NAACP Arlington branch. I'm temporarily like doing the housing stuff for them.
Okay, well,
But I mean, we could still do something with the member, like invite the membership to take a survey. I think, Katie, we said that I would talk to the rest of the executive committee about sending out the survey to the email list.
okay.
Great. Yeah.
Right. And John, chime in since you were there. I mean, they were, they were more interested in what we were doing and what they're doing. I'm, being president of my civic association, I go to their meetings. They're very active. Their housing subcommittee is very active. Matthew Hall is a formidable affordable housing lawyer in New York who lives here and has got a dearth of information and stuff like that. And they wanted to kind of, and I sent Keller a note, they want to kind of informally collaborate and stuff like that. But they were thankful for the contact and they're, interested in the mission of what we're doing.
Yeah, it was exactly that, what Joe was saying, is that they were really interested in what we were doing and how to provide the resources and wanted to keep on tabs, like, oh, let us know how it goes. So we're kind of like, I felt like walking away, they're like, hey, keep us updated so we can update our people of what's going on. Yeah, like Joe said, we were going to split up size. So I guess I'll to you, but then make sure, NAACP.
Yeah, I think that was something that I already told Katie I would do and I forgot. So, yeah, I can ask that we include it in one of our upcoming like emails.
Can I throw something out? When you mentioned disability, I'm now thinking, are we doing anything for the seniors? And I'm thinking of the woman whose name escapes me, but I know her very well. What's the Home Helpers? What is the organization that helps seniors
Neighborhood
living
Village, I
independently?
think, or
Arlington Neighborhood Village?
yes.
Yes, Arlington Neighborhood Village. And I'm wondering if we should reach out to them and reach out to the executive director whose name escapes me, but is
That's
a formidable
Wendy.
person. Wendy, yeah. And I was just, there was a program at Amazon last week and she was one of the panel, or she was there and I saw her. So, I mean, the elderly, no matter what they have serious problems. I mean, serious housing problems, but their housing problem, the most serious part is they need services in order to live independently. Culpeper has an assisted living facility that is teetering on the brink of no longer doing services. And it's mainly because of resources. The county is feeding it. Donations are dwindling and it's just problematic. And they may be giving up 80 assisted living and turning them back into independent living. So, we have serious problems. And I got my start in housing 50 years ago at HUD, working on the 202 program, which is the program that 202 with Section 8 through nonprofits to provide independence for the elderly. And the elderly, we go in spurts, all right? And now we are at the spurt where we have the boomers, et cetera, with a significant problem. So.
Yeah, the silver wave, right?
Yep.
I think so. Audrey from the Commission on Aging,
Right.
the Affordable Housing Ordinance Working Group, but we don't have a representative on this subcommittee, but we can certainly talk to them as well about the work that we're doing. And that's Katie. I don't know if we want to ask them if we can present at a commission meeting about this work and get their feedback. If that would be a good way as well to, or just ask them. I think that would probably be maybe more beneficial than.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, someone to be a lead on.
Great. Joe, would you be willing to kind of reach out to the Commission on Aging and see if you can attend a meeting and kind of present? Thanks.
Sure.
Awesome. And then in terms of Arlington Neighborhood Village, I mean, if you also have the bandwidth to reach out, that's fine. That works too.
Yeah, I think dealing with the commission may be better and more targeted and
Okay,
more helpful.
Yeah, I'm
Great,
on that
yeah.
Commission on Aging. I'm on their housing committee, but it's pretty small, so I think it's good to go to the full-on commission. Because they have active committees, so then you get the idea out to more people anyway, I think.
Yeah, well, I'll contact Audrey, and we were with her last night and go from there.
Sounds good.
Are we
Excellent.
interested in doing listening sessions with some of the elder population? I mean, going to Culpeper Gardens or?
I don't think we're opposed to it. I mean, yeah, if someone has the bandwidth and wants to take it on,
Yeah,
I think it makes sense.
because one of our property, Hunter's Park, is another one. That's one of
Yeah.
ours agencies, so there could be.
And Michael, I wouldn't mind tagging on with you with that if you, whatever.
Okay.
That's a great idea, Hunter's Park.
Thanks for volunteering, Michael.
Thanks. Sorry, what was that? I missed it. Who are you reaching out to?
I'm not telling because then it's not in the notes. Um, No, so I was actually, so Hunter's Park is an AHC property where it would be really easy to put together a listening session.
Okay.
It's
Excellent.
for older adults. It's on Langston. Do you know that one? It's near,
No.
it's in the Cherrydale area. But it's
Okay,
all-
Hunter's Park, you said?
Yeah, it's all older adults, so it's perfect,
Awesome.
you know.
Uh,
They're
Awesome.
older and lower income, so that's really great.
So
Mhm.
Michael and
Thanks, Vanessa.
Joe are gonna reach out to Hunter's Park. I'm writing this down. Okay.
It's in the notes now.
in the notes. I got it highlighted, so, and then Katie will remind me because, yeah, I'm trying to make notes for myself so I remember this stuff.
Great. Yeah, so I'll have to keep track of.
Early in the meeting, someone mentioned Doris Ray.
Yes, I was
Has-
just, we haven't heard from her.
Yeah, I could drop her a line because that also, someone just mentioned Disabilities Commission. That might be a place to either present or get a suggestion from them as to where. Maybe we could go to ENCV or something. What is it called? ECNV, the Independent Center. That might be an idea. So
Awesome.
I could contact Doris and ask about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Disability Commission. Okay. Great. Here, I'll share my screen again so you guys can see what the the spreadsheet looks like here.
Did-
Sorry, go ahead.
For the fair, what did we decide? And who's taking action on the Arlington County Fair?
I was just throwing it out there as an idea. Maybe we could see, you know, like it's early in the,
So
See how-
Alice volunteered to figure out if we can share the county booth.
I think Alex.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him
Okay.
about the table, but
If it's possible.
that's, yeah.
And then he's gonna do it for us.
Yeah. You're gonna be there the whole time, right?
My time.
In the heat, in the August heat.
It's indoors, it's in TJ.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
The info.
well, there's a whole indoor section.
Okay.
Right. Have you never been to the Arlington County Fair?
Oh,
I just wish we had more animals. Last year.
Oh, Nikki, you gotta go. It's so great.
Yeah.
But see, I like to go, like, I've been to like the Iowa State Fair and I'm from Pennsylvania, so like I'm used to like
It's
animals at the fair.
yeah, it's-
Like
Yeah,
we have the
we-
farm show.
Yeah, you might get a petting zoo here, but that's about it.
They didn't,
Yeah.
the petting zoo didn't show up last year.
What?
No
They were
kidding.
supposed to be
Oh, I wanna see like a goat or
Yeah.
some pig.
Yeah,
like,
Hopefully they show up
you know.
this year.
You gotta go a little further away, but it is a lot of fun. It's very international and there's a lot of art and different stuff inside. So
I'll
check
have
it
to-
out. Live music, all the things.
And
If
carnival
you're looking
rides.
for animals, go to the Montgomery Fair.
Montgomery, okay,
Any fair further out from here, I think you'd have some luck.
okay. Do it.
So, any other like organizations that we are connected to that we could share the survey through them?
Is Bugatti sending the survey out to their members?
I need to follow up with Saul and ask. That's a good point.
Because that
Yeah.
would be really helpful as well.
And then someone mentioned like a Mongolian community.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Henry at True Ground if we wanted to try to focus on a subgroup, he could help us know which properties would be good for that. So I'll try.
I learned during COVID that we have a like tight knit community of Mongolians in Arlington that I never here before.
Yeah, I didn't. Where do they eat? I need to know. Where they eat their food.
I'll put that on the survey.
Please.
Restaurant recommendation.
Yeah.
Bonus question on the survey.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we only have the survey in English and Spanish right now. I don't know if it's possible to translate it into if it's feasible, I mean, but if it's a high demand, maybe we could look into having the county staff help us or something.
The county communications or outreach staff presented, and I still need to watch the video. Did they talk about how they target subpopulations like that, like the Mongolian population or the Arabic population? Like, because I know, like, because I remember, especially during COVID, there was a big concerted effort that the county was like, we have to reach like very specific populations. We have to have all our information about the rent or like eviction freezes and stuff like that, like in all these languages. And so I know that was something during COVID the county was like really thinking about, put a lot of effort into. And they probably do that on a regular basis, but I'm curious, did that come up at all? How they do that? Because DHS is very much like they're always having to think about that. Did that not come
I don't
up?
remember specifically. I know they said they were doing a lot, but I don't remember. I will say they said they might be able to give us their like guidebook for like how they do outreach, but I need to follow up to see if they are willing to give that to us.
Yeah, she called it the Guide to Equitable Engagement.
Yeah.
I just found it in my notes.
Wouldn't share it in public things.
She
but-
said, like you said, Kellen, that during COVID, like it was a huge push to try to get in touch with all the property owners of the multifamily building. So they have a directory, multifamily complex directory. I don't know how current it is, but then she also mentioned something. Does anybody remember about an engagement brigade? And I don't have in my notes, was it something they're working on or something that already exists? Because if it already exists, we should chat with them.
Do you mean like the liaisons they're hiring?
Maybe.
Okay. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what the status is of that, but I know that they were hiring.
Okay. Well, maybe if you ask about that guidebook, maybe see if there actually is a brigade yet.
Yeah. There's also someone mentioned earlier that there was someone on the county who was just specializing in doing outreach at events and with different communities. I had heard the name Jorge Laura. I don't know if that was the person you were thinking of, but that sounded like a good person to talk to if we can, to kind of see what he's already doing, what the county's already doing with that outreach.
Is that a housing outreach person or just a?
What you allowed it, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's housing.
yeah, he's in the housing division.
Yeah. Do you want to do an intro email, Alex?
Yeah, I'm happy to. He's
Cool.
yeah, he's extremely active in the community. He's at like every single county event. So yeah, happy to. Who am I introducing him to?
I can do it if no one else wants to, but if someone else is,
What are we doing with?
we're just setting up a call and-
It sounds like we just give him our survey and then we're good. He'll be at every event, yeah.
I mean, that
but
would be good too, but doing a call with him probably to kind of explain who we are and hear about what he's doing.
But also, like, if he's willing to amplify what we're trying to do, I think it could be really helpful to have on board and be like, sure, I'll take your surveys to different events that I go to.
Okay, I can talk to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nikki.
But he may also be a good one to show what we've already gotten to see if that's what he's hearing at these events all the time, like a third-party validation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe once we get a little bit farther along the process, we have more feedback.
I was gonna say, I don't know if 9 is really a representative sample that we wanna know it, but once we get some more, hopefully,
We have a lot of plans. So.
yes.
I was gonna say, I feel like this might be like, we have a lot on our plates right now. Maybe this is like a good place. Before we keep adding more.
Sure, yeah, yeah. Does anyone have anything else to add that you want to work on between now and our next meeting?
Yeah, I've got a contact with the Mongolian community. I don't know if she's still active with them, but she's with an organization that, yeah, I worked with her in the past. So I'll reach out to her and see if she's still active and can be distributing stuff.
Great.
And I know for me, last week I had to leave at that hard stop at 8:30. But I guess on my end, because I was looking up what other communities are doing for, the outreach and et cetera. So a lot of the searching I did, which I hate AI in the sense, because when people ask that question, it'll copy and paste itself and just circle it back to the people asking the question. So I got a lot of do what we're doing right now, make a committee and look it up. And it's literally, but I did find one website that had like top 10 like things that these success stories. Of those, I think there's like 2 that were actually true success stories. I have the link saved, unfortunately, on my work computer. So I don't have it on me right now, but I'm going to continue doing that search to try to see what other questions I can put into the Google machine and really just be like, okay, let me try to get more answers of what I'm trying to find out. Because I might have to be asking different ways. But I did see, like, I guess, one community in Colorado. They had a lot of success on community participation and turnout. So that's the one I'm going to look at and see what other areas. So I was going to say I'll keep on looking that up. That was my update from last month. And I'll keep it up going and I'll share that link with everybody too.
Thank you so much, John. Yeah, I really appreciate that someone's looking into the kind of solutions. So
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Nia, do you have anything you wanted to add? I good to see you. Glad you were able to join.
Nothing that I can think of. I mean, being on the planning commission, I'm not really sure. I feel comfortable doing surveys and stuff in the community. So I kind of view my participation here as a little bit more advisory in nature. So, I've been listening to, I know Jorge because he has asked me in my real estate capacity to be at various county events, but I think somebody who can far better articulate the purpose of what you all are trying to do would be better to approach him. And I do know that there's a possibility he may also be retiring. I did speak at his event, his LAIF back in April, I think. I had a table there and spoke there. So, I mean, it looks like the list is good, but I thought, maybe I'm wrong, that at the beginning of this, that you were talking about really trying to get to renters. So these are specific areas that you're looking with the audiences per those, for that list, but how are you thinking of you're going to get into the buildings or to the renters? I guess would be my question.
So I think most of these groups are renters that we've talked about. So it'd be working with the property owners to set up like listening sessions with them, as well as going to events where we know that like renters are likely to be. So I think that's the main plan, as opposed to just like, it's not going door to door in like rental buildings and asking questions.
Okay. Yeah, I just, there's so many folks who are in rental buildings here and who may or may not be at some of the events you mentioned. I know the county fair, I usually end up working. I have had a table there from my own company. And it is, you're there a lot. And then I also work because I'm getting my master gardener certification for Northern Virginia. I do help there at their table, for a few hours, but there's like a whole list of volunteers for the whole weekend because it's, there's so many shifts and so many hours. But again, the folks who are coming through there are looking for a good time. They're there for fun. If you're going to do something with the survey, you have to figure out some kind of also fun thing to do because they're not coming there to think too much. Even most of the county stations that have, master gardeners, even we have like figure out what herb this one is, and, you know, interactive things that can be both for kids as well as adults and folks who want to know something about, um, you know, what it's like to be a gardener or whatever. But even if you go around the county tables, they've got, it's more fun stuff. It's not, here's our brochure. Please let us know what you think about this. There, you have to kind of skew this because the attitude there is they're going there for fun. They're not really going there to think too much. I mean, at least that's my take. Having had both a table there with even with my own things for my own company, I had to put the fun part out, and then they were more than welcome to talk to you. That they couldn't wait to talk to us. But if it doesn't have that aspect to it, you know, you've got so many distractions there for their grabbing their attention between the noises and all the other stuff. So, you know, if they've got kids with them, kids are not super patient when somebody's being asked to fill out a survey. So
It sounds like we need to figure out how we can get a goat. And as people are petting the goat, you can ask them survey questions.
That would be fabulous.
Yeah.
Nick, you'll take care of
Nikki
the
will take care of the goat and we will ask the questions.
Find out if we're permitted to have a goat at the county table.
yes, yeah, I don't know if you could bring a goat. I know there was a whole thing in the county a few years ago. Could people have chickens?
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I don't know about the goat. I've not seen too many animals at the Arlington County Fair, the Montgomery County Fair. If you're into Charlotte's Web, go there. But no, not the Arlington County Fair. So,
Yeah,
and
no,
I,
thanks for the idea, Nia. And,
yeah, and you
maybe
know,
we could
and I don't know,
brainstorm
yeah, and
between
I
now
don't
and the
know
next meeting.
if the I don't know if you can get a table there. I would suggest speaking sooner than later on that. And or maybe you can get a little piece of a table. I do know that most of the major departments and things, and well, the agency types of things that do services, they're all there. The duration of the fair. So maybe you have something like that.
Yeah, Alex is gonna check to see if we can be at the CPHD table.
Yeah, exactly. CPHD always has a table there. So
Great.
that's my only take. But thank you.
Thank you for that. Yeah. And also, you know, I am trying to reach out and get from the county, let me see who it was, Anthony Fusarelli, planning director, to present
Yes.
on the site plan process, hopefully at one of our next meetings. Oh, and Nia, since you're on the planning commission, it'll be great to have your input or your perspective during that meeting as well.
Sure, sure. As long as
so-
it's at a time that I can be there. And yeah, Anthony, I remember when he was a planner and I was the president of BVSCA at the time, and he was fantastic, I thought, with the community. So, and he really knows his stuff with so he'd be very good to speak with. We've had him at the Civic Association too, so.
Great.
Is that going to be the July meeting, do you think? Or we don't know
I'm
yet?
asking if they can do July, but if not, you know, we'll do what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
He's spread thin right now. I do know that.
Okay. Yeah. Also, another question. Do you guys think we need an August meeting? I know Housing Commission normally doesn't meet in August. I could be open to having one, or if we think we're like in a good place, we don't have to have one. But I do know a lot of work needs to happen between now and like September when we're planning to kind of wrap up the feedback portion.
My recommendation would be ask that question again at the July meeting. And
Yeah.
then maybe sort of game time decision. Do we need to meet next month? But I would say, yeah, you can, well, it's up to you whether you want to put it on the calendar and then cancel it if we don't need it, or not put it on the calendar and then add it. But yeah, the Housing Commission will not be meeting in August because we always take August off. But our, yeah,
They haven't met yet.
Okay, why don't we, for now, keep it on the calendar and then kind of reevaluate in July and see if we still need to do it or not. Okay, so thank you everyone for like all of you that you've committed to work on. Yeah, go ahead, Nikki.
So for the survey, could we do something like where we could say like oh, like an opportunity to win like a $25 Starbucks gift card if like one of us wanted to like donate one? Like I don't know
That's a
if
good
that's like,
idea.
does that make it weird with the county though? Like
I don't see why we couldn't do that. I mean, we could ask companies to donate stuff
oh, we
too.
could ask
but
them. Yeah.
I don't think there's any issue.
Yeah.
It's not the county's money, so I don't think there's any issue from that standpoint.
Okay.
If someone wants to
That's a good
donate
idea.
$1,000 as a prize, and then we can raffle it off.
I was thinking I could donate like one. Of like 25.
I think that's a great idea. Thanks, Nikki. Just let me know and then I can add it to the top of the survey or whatever.
I
Yeah.
can commit to like at least one gift card. So if you want to use like, opportunity to win, like a gift card or something.
Yeah. And then like they have to give us their email in order to like actually get the gift card.
We can contact them.
And then like in a couple months we follow up and choose one person and give away
Yeah,
the-
or how many like we get or whatever.
yeah. Great.
Use a random generator or something.
That needs to be added to the survey.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
questions, another, like a final question, you know.
Entered into win. Yeah, yeah.
$25.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. I can edit the survey.
Okay.
Would you want it to be Starbucks or should it just be like a Visa gift card?
We could just say like gift card and that way, like if we
Yeah.
if we do wind up soliciting businesses, I could maybe solicit some businesses and then commit myself to like donating at least one. So that we're not lying on the survey if we don't get
Yeah.
anything from any businesses.
Great. So why don't I put $25 because I think it would be good for people to hear a number and then we can always add if we have something for businesses.
That sounds great.
Okay, thank you. That's a great idea. Does anyone else have any final thoughts before we close out? No? Okay, well, thank you everyone for all of your help on everything and looking forward to hearing all that we've accomplished at our next meeting in July, which will be on Zoom. So thanks, Alex. Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Have a good night.
Have a good night.